Morning folks, sorry I've not done a video for a while. I did actually do one the other day. It was absolutely chucking it down, and it was blowing a gale as well, and when I came to edit it I thought I don't want to put you through that noise. It was you just couldn't hear a word, but I've sorted out a little mic now for my phone, so hopefully going forward we can resolve the noise of it being really windy. So I'll just do a quick run around the farm really. Well, just have a quick look at some of the stock on a cold winter's morning. It's I think it was about -5 last night. It froze the water troughs in the polytunnel, so it must have been pretty cold. So these are the Texel crosses and Lonky mules, which you cross with the Easy Dam. We'll be scanning next week hopefully. So because some of our wintering ground is on a dairy farm, he wanted the stock off because it was so wet, and obviously wants his grass to. It's very important that people give the grass a chance to recover for the spring for an early silage cut if possible. So we're umming and ahhing what to do anyway. We brought these in for a while, and we'll get them scanned, and then we'll take it from there as regards to whether we try and rotationally graze them outside, giving them a fresh bite every day, or whether we keep more inside and basically rest the land for longer, which hopefully gives us a head start going into spring. With a view of next year, I think we need to be a little bit more ruthless with the lamb crop. This year we've kept too many going into the back end because it's been a strange summer and we didn't get as many aways as usual. So a lot of the lambs have took a lot of the grass, and so we just perhaps need to get that management a little bit better. Stocked all right inside, but is it very regenerative? Not really. And as regards to input costs, it's more cost. But sometimes it's a long grace, isn't it? And so a bit of short-term cost might help the longer-term outlook, or it is for the better good. And this is the other batch of Easy Dams. Well, sorry, Texel crosses and Lonky mules, which are crossed onto the Easy Dam. First year we've used the Easy Dam, and this is just a transition really, just to get some gimmers coming through. But the hope is, as I said on previous videos, I'll put the Easy Dam onto the hill Cheviots for breeding our commercial sheep replacements, and keep some of the hill Cheviots pure for up on the hill. So we breed all our own replacements, and hopefully through selection really, and sort of culling any issue sheep, we can sort of improve the sort of maternal side of the flock, so that we have less interventions. So this lambing time I am hoping to lamb more outside, and basically I want to a sheep which can rear 2 lambs ideally, lamb itself, good carcass lambs, low input really, not reliant on lots of expensive inputs. And that's where sometimes maybe the mules suffer on a rotating grazing basis, especially in the harder times of year. They struggle with keeping the condition on the backs, and so it's so I want a naturally flesh sheep which can lamb outside and look after itself basically. So these are the weaned calves, obviously from which were born last spring and summer. So some are pure lings, link heifers and bullocks, but then also we have crossed some of the cows which don't hold to the ling bull the first couple of cycles. We then introduced the Charolais bull, just for the growth and meat yield, but we're not sure. We might go full ling really. From a management point of view, it'd be easier perhaps if we went whole ling, especially if we're marketing our own 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. you know, that the pure ling is probably better for that. Whereas the Charolais cross ling is probably more suited to selling the Charolais as forward stores, you know, big heavy store cattle at the local auction to go on to be finished on another farm. But perhaps that doesn't just sit as well with a regen and sort of the holistic approach, in that, you know, you're rearing the best stock and sort of from field to plate almost, you know. It's that you know, selling your own beef will hopefully bring satisfaction, and we can sell what we do, really. You know, the whole sustainable bit, grass-fed bit, you know, better quality meat, nutrient dense, and omega-3s, which you get from your totally grass-fed animals. And so, you know, that's and obviously the environmental benefits we can achieve doing that. And hopefully a bit of ringworm on this bullock here, but hopefully that'll soon clear up. Right, we'll move on to the others. So here are some ling heifers. So there's 11 in-calf ling heifers, first time calvers here. We have kept them inside at the moment, but yeah, they're doing really well, really, just on silage alone, obviously. But we'll probably keep them until calving now and then turn them out as soon as they've calved. Then also we have an odd little Highland here in here as well, and one smaller heifer which is probably more suited in a smaller group. It's able to get feed better and doesn't get knocked around the same as it's there's more available feed space for these. Yeah, so they're looking well, and they're due from middle of April. So these are some of the mules which have come back from wintering as well. So we're just holding them here up until scanning. I suppose you could say it's a sacrifice area, which I'm not really that keen on using, but I'm just until we scan, I'm a bit it's hard to know what to do for the best, really, because we have some deferred grazing, but it won't keep them through till lambing time. So I'm just feeding them hay here for now. You know, I'll keep the condition on them, so you know they're looking all right. But the traditional wintering system we've had is changing, really, because a lot of these farms want the sheep off a lot sooner. So ultimately, probably result in keeping fewer sheep, or keeping sheep which are which we can, I don't know, maybe manage a bit better. But also, I guess, as our grasses improve and hopefully the ryegrass just kind of dies off, but with the regen management, hopefully we'll be able to keep like a stronger sward, if you will, going into winter, which will last a bit longer. So some of this, like I said previously, is maybe short term not that good, but for the better good, in that it'll give more of the land a longer recovery, so we can go into the spring with a lot more, you know, let the grass get a lot further ahead, and then that'll sort of, if we can keep that feed in front of them all the time, it'll help us. You know, it's like, even looking 12 months ahead, it might be the head start that we need. We could destock a little, but I think it's more around how we manage the stock going forward. Also, though, one advantage of keeping them out here, it's a dry piece. They're not really making any mess. The hay's probably doing the ground a bit of good, in that anything left over will go into the ground as add fertiliser, add carbon to the ground, as Greg Judy would say. The sheep on here for a length of time, you know, there'll be plenty of sheep muck on there, so if it gets a good long recovery afterwards, it should help kickstart the field going into the spring. But also, as you noticed just earlier, I've put an electric fence all the way around, I am trying to train the sheep up. They do need training up to the fence. I hope to get them trained to one wire. We have had a packet of sheep which would respect one wire, and from a rotational grazing point of view, if I can get them used to one wire, it makes it an awful lot easier to be moving one wire as opposed to two. One wire is easy, two wires you can end up with knots and twists and kinks and getting the top wire and bottom wire mixed up, and yeah, a lot easier with one wire. So I have, in the sort of autumn time, I did try and train all the sheep to electric, even the hill sheep, and they all know what an electric wire is, but I just thought it'd be prudent, let's say, to put a wire around this piece just to re-educate them, and or just make sure they still know. And to be fair, nothing has gone up through that wire. I don't know if you can see it. There's a lot of orange posts around there, so I can ride over it with the quad. If I just hit it at an angle, there's two wires at the moment, I can ride over it with the quad. And yeah, if they can respect electric, that is going to make our plan going forward a lot easier to achieve. And yeah, I do aim to be moving the sheep every day. Probably try a leader follower system, I'm thinking, this spring. So the sheep and the lambs will go first. So even though the grass will be longer than what people think are suitable for sheep, they can pick all the good stuff or whatever they want out of it, and then follow on with the cows, which will you know, sort of more non-selective grazing. You know, they'll just a clean sweep and sort of help us on our journey. The only thing with sheep and long grass, some people think it, you know, arguably causes more foot problems. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. And you know, if certain sheep are more susceptible to it, then obviously they'll have to go elsewhere. And you know, I want to be able to get a flock what'll rotational graze, but probably on a longer recovery period, so a longer rotation length. So we get that rest period. We sort of take that worm challenge away, and basically, yeah, more solar panel to grow more roots. Which can sort of, which is what it's all about, lay down more carbon and hopefully get the old win-win throughout. So yeah, that's another packet of sheep eating the hay. So here we have some of the older cattle. So they were born a year last spring. There's a mixture of pure lings and ling crosses here. So ling cross Charolais. The pure ling bullocks will keep on and finish them on grass this next summer, and hopefully market the beef ourselves. And then the Charolais cross ones will sell store this spring at the local auction. And obviously it helps cash flow, but yeah, that's what we usually do. And yeah, we're just undecided whether we go all ling or continue crossing with the Charolais with some of the herd. Anyway, that's a quick look round some of the stock on a cold winter's morning. I'll do another video soon on the cows up on the fell. But if you like the videos, please like and subscribe. It all helps. And yeah, I'll try and get some. Well, going into spring, we should have a lot more different content with lambing time and calving time and a lot more stuff going on. Anyway, take care. See you later.